I've used every different kind of software as it's been developed from the very first software. And you'll get to a place where you'll use something, you go, this is new, this is different. And when I used Auria the first time, I thought, you know, like, I thought of some gear that I just bought and wondered if I'd needed to buy it. My name's David Kahne. I'm a producer and mixing engineer. One of the fascinating parts of Auria is that it works on an iPad. That's why it felt like a tipping point to me, that someone had created something that was so powerful on a device that isn't really known for being powerful in that way. I've bought cheap recorders for my laptop, and it just didn't sound that good. I knew I was just goofing around. Auria is the first time I've ever mixed on something like that, where I realized I wasn't goofing around anymore, that I could actually get something out of this that was at the level that I thought it should be. I was using something that felt like a full-on professional tool on my iPad, and that was a strange feeling. Auria has a really detailed interface that is very easy to use. That's the trick of it for me, because I can do, when I think I want to do this, I can go do it and I can get to it quickly. When I first used Auria, I went to the plugin strip and I loaded up 3 plugins and they opened and worked perfectly. And the first thing I thought of was, there's going to be a lot of plugins that you can buy for this. So plugins that I use in my other DAWs, I'm assuming are going to be available, and they were seamlessly integrated into the software. I can switch from the edit page to the fader page. I can call up my piece of audio, I can trim it, go to the edit menus, change the gain, move the audio around, go back to my fader page. And one thing that's interesting about Auria is that when you turn it to letter position, the faders get long. And it's a really great feature because you get more detail that way. You're working and you come out the audio port to monitor, and it's just audio out. It's essentially the interface is built into the software. At the end, you hit the mixdown button and it sums it offline and drops it into your Dropbox or your iTunes account. You don't have another piece of hardware there. You don't have something that you have to go through to monitor the sound. It's coming out of the audio. The ability to record 24 tracks into the iPad, that freaked me out a little bit. You know, to go through a camera connection kit and get in there with 24 tracks. There's a lot of people that aren't going to go out and pay $1,000 for a DAW that will only run on a $2,000 laptop. If they already have an iPad, they're going to be paying $50 to be able to plug it in and start recording the moment that they get it downloaded. When I started mixing the approach, I put up the kick and I started jacking it with a compressor and EQs, and I copied it onto another track and I put it in its own sub-bus and I started working with it there. And 10 minutes later, I had a good sounding kick. I could feel it moving air, and it was recorded in a big room in a barn. So I started working on the room mics to compress the rooms, and they came right up. It was a really good recording of the room, really nice sounding room. I did a kind of a complicated edit where I wanted to cut out 8 bars of the whole song, and I wanted to cut them all out at once and then take what I had and move it in and crossfade it. And there's a feature now in Auria where you can group very easily as many tracks as you want and then lock them into place. And then I moved them over and I had to shift them around slightly and redo the crossfades so that you couldn't hear the edit, so it was just part of the kit. And it worked perfectly. So that was a kind of an arranging thing I did. You know, something I would normally do at a rehearsal, but because I was only mixing, I was able to do it using the editing functions. And it worked great. This is another way to mix for me, and I'm somebody that does this kind of stuff every day. For a user who needs a mixer, and they have an iPad, it's amazing how well it works. So I can't wait till I get my first Auria mix on the radio. That'll be a fun day.